Chairman, my question to the nominee. This country's been battling with a lot of gender-based violence, femicide, and many others. And I want to take you to 2011. In 2011, a young university woman with a beautiful and a promising life, Miss Mercy Keino, was found dead in unclear circumstances, just like many of them that we lose through femicide. And that was after being invited to a party where it is alleged you were the host. That tragic incident left so many Kenyans, so many questions in Kenyans' minds, and still remains in the memory of many Kenyans. Kindly expound on this and explain whether you are fit to hold office in light of these allegations. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the issue of 2011 of Mercy Keino, a very tragic story, Mr. Speaker. The honourable member has said it is alleged that I had invited people to a party. Mr. Speaker, that is not true. This is just a situation where you find yourself at a place at the wrong time. It was a public place, a restaurant, and there were several groups of people in that place, Mr. Speaker. And the issue of the death of Mercy Keino came to me 2 weeks after she had been buried. And even if I had met her the following day after that hotel or restaurant, I would never have noticed her. It is a sad story, and Kenyan life was lost, but I sincerely and truly had nothing to do with it. Suffice to say, Mr. Speaker, an inquiry, I think it was inquiry 22 of, 2012, was done at Milimani Magistrates Court. And all persons of interest.
An inquiry or an inquest?
An inquest, sorry.
Yes.
I am not a lawyer like yourself, Mr. Speaker, so some of these terms.
The two are different.
Yes. So it was done, and it took about a year and a half, and all persons of interest were invited, even those that had not been there.
Including yourself?
Including myself. I was governor, but I managed to be able to sit in there for 6 days, cross-examination, examination in chief, etc. And I was exonerated by the judgment of that court, a court that made a finding that the late Mercy Keino was a victim of a hit and run by a truck. And that matter rests there. It is a sad story. There were videos played of the scene in the restaurant. And when I was speaking to the father of Mercy Keino at the inquest, I was urging him really not to watch those videos, because they were videos that were not very nice for a parent. I sympathize with the family of Mercy Keino. May her soul rest in peace. But I am certain that as a child, and a God-fearing child, I believe that one day the truck driver or whoever it is that was in the truck that killed Mercy Keino will be able to come out and say, unfortunately, I kept quiet, but I did it. And I hope that day will come. I have a copy of the inquiry report with me if anyone would be interested to have a look at. It's a public document.
Welcome to my channel. So on Monday, the new bunch of CSs got vetted by the parliamentary committee. So you've just had Kabogo defending himself against the allegations that he had something to do with the death of Mercy Keino. So for those who are not in the know, in 2011, the two attended a party, and unfortunately, Mercy Keino ended up losing her life. So if you didn't know what happened, I've pulled up a newspaper article relating to the incident. Standard, and it read, a university student, Mercy Keino, may have been murdered elsewhere and her body dumped on the road to fake an accident. An inquest into her death heard. Officer, who was the first to arrive at the scene yesterday, told the court that when he reached the location, it gave an impression that a fatal accident had occurred, but on further investigation, the findings told a different story. The officer, Thomas Obogi, explained he realized that several things did not add up and concluded that there was foul play. In the event of an accident, especially where a person has been hit by a vehicle, the scene normally has a pool of blood due to the impact, but in this case it was different since there was no blood at the scene. The officer added that many accident scenes are usually strewn with personal properties and effects of the victims, which was not the case. The skull of the deceased had also been ripped off. It appeared like the deceased had been killed elsewhere and her body dumped on the busy highway to make it look like an accident, he told the court. The lawyers cross-examining the officer had asked him whether he had explored the possibility that the student had been hit by a speeding vehicle and flung several meters away from the exact scene of the accident, to which he responded he had covered a wide area surrounding the scene and no blood was found. Surveyed the scene of the accident and its environs by walking for over 100 meters, but there was no trace of blood anywhere. and there was no sign of the missing skull, he said. The officer added that in an ideal situation, 2 police officers are supposed to go to an accident scene, but in that particular case, he took a breakdown operator to check the reported accident. Obogi explained that on arriving at the scene and conducting preliminary investigations, he called for an ambulance to collect the varsity student's body and take it to the mortuary. He corroborated the report by the breakdown operator that the operator assisted the police officer to carry the body into an ambulance from the scene. When the ambulance arrived, I asked the breakdown operator to help me carry the body into the vehicle. The body was taken to the city mortuary, he said. And Juja MP William Kabogo, his driver and aides have been adversely mentioned in the student's death, whose body was discovered on Waiyaki Way. Defending himself, even when he was just nominated for that post, people were really angry that Mercy Keino's death has never been resolved. So on 19th December, when Ruto nominated him, somebody went on X and said, "We haven't and shall never forget Mercy Keino. Kabogo knows what happened to her." He brought up a news article from 2014, and he captioned, "You may know about Kabogo widely, but do you know that Charles Keter was there during Mercy Keino's murder? You can guess who invited the other names." Somebody said, according to Scholastica Namwai, Mercy Keino broke some glasses after taking too much wine. She was shouting and acting unruly. William Kabogo slapped her several times, demanding to know who brought her to the party that night. Keino was a 25-year-old student. Don't shout shame on Nairobian, then wait to shout justice for Anne when she was eliminated under mysterious circumstances. We know how Mercy Keino ended after she was seen with Kabogo. And here it's Kabogo
The
defending
truth is
himself.
known. Why do you want to continue hurting her father? I got nothing to do with that murder. I got nothing to do with the death of that girl. It was a simple traffic accident. Let her rest. Why do they want now to connect me and talk about me in relationship to what Governor Obado is going through?
Yeah.
Really, Jeff? Hate us. But, thanks God, I got no time for them.
But let me ask you this, since you brought it up. What is this about governors, once they get into office, the power?
On Twitter.
So the next person said, "We elect or appoint crooks. Mercy Keino mysteriously killed Kabogo, elected governor of Kiambu." Then this was Kibet Bull with his cartoons, and the caption read, "William Kabogo, the killer of Mercy Keino, is now a cabinet secretary." Nahashon said Mercy Keino died in 2011. At the time, William Kabogo Gitawu was the MP of Juja. He had clinched the seat on NAC ticket. His Osiku Kabogo was something else. His reputation and dealings were well known throughout Kenya. He found a home in Matakarua's NAC party. Brian said Pablo Kabogo Escobar involved in the death of Mercy Keino but denied claims. He proposes to ban Twitter in Kenya. News ni sawa muuzaji wa dawa za kulevya. Kabogo was like, "This young man reached me through Kameme FM. I had to help him realize his dreams. I hope he will make it to university." And ended by saying Mercy Keino's life was cut short at the university. And Kibet Bull said, "Rest in peace, Mercy Keino. I just learned today that William Kabogo ended your life." I'm sure Kabogo is regretting taking up that post because this thing has come back to haunt him. So just let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think Kabogo is going to continue as the CS of IT, or do you think he'll decide to turn down the position? Just let me by, share and like this video. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. See you on the next one. Bye for now.